one key point I want to share with you is do not limit yourself, okay, for doing research in events only. Because when we talk about event management, event covers a lot of aspects from tourism, from lodging, from food and beverage, okay, and from logistic. So later, I will show you some of my research work. You can see and you can observe, I am not only doing research in events only. Okay, events only. It covers the tourism and hospitality as well. All right. Here is this slide to give you I would say overall pictures. Okay, how the sustainability is doing differently in event management. Okay, you may recall there is a very common definition for sustainability, which is, okay, we need to preserve some resources for our next generations. But what we did differently in event management is sustainability for event means we're taking action toward preserving our natural environment, promoting a healthy, inclusive society, and supporting a thriving economy. Here, I would like to start with giving you some experience, okay? Talking about a research agenda for event management, I will highly encourage you to think two aspects. The first one is SDG, okay? Does anyone know what SDG stands for? You're welcome to type in a chat box, okay? My presentation style is more like interactive, so feel free to just type anything you want. Anna, she answered SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals, which is perfectly correct. I don't know how many of you are familiar with SDG. SDG is developed by the United Nations in 2015, okay, which is in the effort of achieving the long-run sustainable society. Okay, and the SDG, it contains the 17 goals. Okay, from here you can see it covers non-poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, clean energy, and also regional economic growth, industry innovation, infrastructure, and also reduce the inequalities, okay, as well as the sustainable city and community development, and also promoting the responsible consumptions and the productions, okay, and the climate actions, life below water and then life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, as well as partnerships for the goals. Those are the 17 SDGs. I am not going to explain each goals individually. Instead, I want to show you, okay, when you design your future research, okay, for event management, how can you, once again, how can you get it published, and as well to package it as an award-winning paper, okay? Yeah. For instance, several of my work, okay, it ties with SDG, one of the goals very much. Okay, for instance, the paper I work with my undergraduate students. Once again, do not limit your ability. Okay, do not. I know some of you are doctoral students. You already, or some of you are already the PhD. The faculty got your PhD, but do not limit yourself. Okay, even you are an undergraduate or you are the master, okay, or your friends, your peers, they are undergraduate students or the master students. Take the opportunity to work with them. Okay, this is the beauty of the teamwork. So you can see one of the paper I collaborate with my students is one, is to tie with the SDG goal of number 8, decent work and economic growth. Okay, we'll look at the over tourism issues. okay, in terms of Machu Picchu. Okay, Machu Picchu is a very famous tourism destination, but how can we overcome the over tourism issue? It hasn't been very well studied. Okay, and this paper, okay, it was selected as the winning case for the 2021 ICRE case study competition. The next paper, next manuscript I want to show you is the work I work with my graduate students, Didi Ham. Currently, she is the assistant professor in University of Arkansas. It's also the research intensive university. Oh, you can see we think outside the box. Okay, when many people, they investigate the motivation for consumers to attend the events, we think a different way. We think, okay, so from the event security perspective, what do they believe? Okay, what do they believe to keep their work? Okay. Yeah. And this article has been published in JHTM, and I provide a DOI link here, and you are welcome to search and to take a look if you are interested. Okay, since our time is your time is really precious here. Another few other few examples are, for instance, I also work with my undergraduate students to produce a paper, okay, to tie with the SDG goal number 11, okay, the sustainable city and the communities, okay. And then lastly, those are the two papers, okay, we produced to align with the SDG goal number 12, okay. You can see they have been published in Journal of Convention and Event Tourism, talk about the motivators of attendance as eco-friendly events, as well as like how the issue of the sustainable packaging, okay, can solve the over consumption issues, okay, during the COVID. Okay. Yeah. So those are several examples to tell you for the future research agenda, okay, for the event manager, you should tie with the SDG, okay, because it can help you to say another story beyond your paper. The second, I would say, feedback I want to give to you regarding the future research agenda for event management is ESG. Okay, the ESG. Once again, I like the interactive presentation. Does anyone can share with me? Okay, I want to know your knowledge about the ESG. Does anyone can tell me what the ESG stands for? Thank you, Mu Hei. Yeah. If you are Chinese, thank you, 谢谢. Yeah. Thank you, Vatrika. Yeah, ESG, environmental. Yes, yeah, thank you, Dr. Tsai. Wow, wonderful. You can see so many people. Yeah, you are getting engaged, right? Yeah. So this is the beauty of the interactive workshop. Okay, you are all awesome. Okay, the ESG exactly stands for the environmental, social, and governance. Okay. Okay. But what I want you to know is when you try ESG, it has my true belief. It will be a really important research, okay, agenda you should keep in your mind, okay, for for event management, okay, or even for the hospitality and tourism management, okay. But what I want to remind you is you have to have the clear understanding what is the difference between the CSR and ESG. Okay, so before I move to the next slide, does anyone can also help me to type in your knowledge using your own words? How can you distinguish the CSR and ESG? Just using your own words. Okay, yeah, and I will provide you some knowledge about the differences between them. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Vetrika. She said, ESG is a responsibility of firm towards society. Oh, CSR, I'm sorry, CSR. It is a C, okay. Anyone else? Okay, some people also say the ESG is basically about environmental concern, and Bahari says environmental sustainable governance. Maybe the dimensions. Fanny, thank you. Okay, yeah. Does anyone want to provide their comments before we move to the next slide? All right. No? Okay. Then let's move to the next slide. Yeah. All right. The biggest, I would say the significant differences between the CSR and ESG is ESG is using quantitative data to provide insights. Okay, the core concepts of them, the CSR and ESG, they are the same. Okay, they are the same. But the ESG is more data-driven. Okay, more data-driven. Okay. Yeah. So I hope this can give you some clear understanding. Okay, the CSR is actually, okay, it's really different from what ESG, okay, it is. Yeah. So as you can see, this slide, I want to give you some knowledge about what exactly the 3 dimensions of ESG contains, and underneath each dimensions, what research you can do. Okay, so ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. Okay, so if you are more, you can say, hey, Dr. Su and Joan, I am more environmental sustainability towards person. So what a research I can do for event or tourism hospitality? Then you may think, okay, your research should focus on climate change strategy, okay, or something related to the biodiversity or efficiency in water, energy, and carbon, okay, or the environmental management system, those study. But some people will say, hey, John, I'm more interested in like social justice. So it may underneath the social dimensions. So potential topics you should think is equal opportunity, like a gender, like a salary, okay, and the freedom of association, healthy and safety, okay, healthy and safety, human rights, okay. For instance, you may consider to do some research in human trafficking, customer and product responsibility and child labors. Okay. Lastly, if you say, I'm more geared to the management, I'm more like a management person. So in terms of the ESG, what research topic can I conduct? Okay, you may consider how the ethics code, okay, for the events or hospitality business they should perform. Okay, compliance, for independence, okay, executive compensations, and the shareholder demographic, those things. Okay, those I would say those topics underneath each dimensions you can put into consideration. Okay, for your future research items. Okay, in the event management and the event tourism. Yeah. And this is the some several of my recent work that were accepted in the top leading journals, which I hope to demonstrate you. ESG, okay, is one of the important research items you should seriously consider to contribute and to dedicate to do it. Okay, once again, the event management, when we talk event management, don't limit your perspective. Okay, event management not only doing a study for the festival, not only doing for Olympics, no, not only doing for some birthday parties, no. Okay, event manager actually it is a broader terms to cover tourism and hospitality. So from you can see, okay, those 3 papers I published and collaborate with my co-authors. Okay, they have been published in top tier journals, and I can guarantee you, okay, if you focus on this topic and then your paper can get acceptance, kind of like a very I won't say easily. Okay, it depends on how you write, but I would say it help you to get the recognition from the editors that you, you and them, they recognize the importance of the sustainability in terms of ESG. Okay, yeah. So you can see like a tourism management, okay, published, does sustainability index matter to the hospitality industry? This paper also was selected as the year of the journal articles by the ICRI. Okay, and the two papers just list below in the screen. Okay, you can see it's more narrow and focused on the ESG. And both of manuscripts will receive very, very constructive and very positive feedback from the reviewer, and they got acceptance in a very short time. Okay. My conclusion for you for the future research agenda in event management and event tourism is, I recommend you and I encourage you, okay, when you think of doing research in event management, okay, think about, okay, how your research can tie with the full principle of event sustainability. And also those four principles, okay, it has different SDGs, okay, to correspond to, okay. And if you can center the one of the principle and the one of the SDG to your papers, okay, then it will be, I would say it will be a really good selling point for your paper. Yeah. So let's do a quick recap. For the full principle of the event sustainability basically also falls into the the dimensions in terms of environmental practice and the social practice, as well as the economic practice. Okay, so those practice underneath each dimension they are also the topics and the potential research items you can think to conduct, okay, for your research in event management and event tourism. Okay, yeah. And this is all the presentation I have. Once again, I really don't want to keep your time for listening Joan's presentation for like 1 hour. I know I was a student. I know how boring it could be. And here is my email address, joansu@iowastate.edu. So feel free to reach out to me if you want to get more information about the SDGs and the ESG. All right.